Hey there, listeners. Well, everywhere you look, someone's talking about AI. Now, whether you're online on LinkedIn or Facebook or you're at conferences, podcasts, it seems to be everywhere. And all of a sudden, it feels like everyone is an AI expert. But here's the thing. Leadership isn't about chasing the noise. It's about knowing how to cut through it, interpret it, and focus on what matters most for you, your team, and your business. So let's discuss.
Welcome to Leadership is Changing. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change. This is taking your leadership to another level by finding the balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing with your host, Denis Gianoutsos.
Welcome to the Ask Denis episode. This is a freestyle episode where I'm asked a question by our listeners or share my thoughts, experiences, and insights from working with many leaders around the globe. Hey listeners, well today I want to talk about something I know many of you are feeling right now. It's what I call AI fatigue. Now, don't get me wrong, AI is incredible. I think it's one of the most powerful tools that we've ever had that's now available to you and I as leaders. It has the potential to enable business, empower leaders, and free us up to focus on the work that truly matters. But this is what I've noticed. It seems like everyone is all of a sudden, and I wouldn't say all of a sudden, over the last year or so, talking about it. People are jumping on the bandwagon, calling themselves AI experts overnight. And look, they're not bad people. They're excited, like many of us are. But for leaders, this creates a challenge. How do you separate the hype from real opportunity? Now, it's easy to get overwhelmed when every headline is AI will change the world or AI is coming for your job. Now, the leaders that I talk to, they ask me questions like, Dennis, do I lean in? Or do I wait? Or do I ignore this thing? And the constant noise can feel distracting and actually even exhausting. And this is where leadership comes in. Great leaders don't just follow trends. What they tend to do is they tend to pause, think, and then make deliberate choices in relation to those trends. So how do you cut through the hype? And here are some ways. First of all, I think one of the best things you can do is look for practical applications, not just the theory. I see boards of directors and that at the moment going, oh, we're hearing about this thing called AI. Okay, guys, go off and do it. But the question here is, how does this actually help us? How does it help me as a leader? How does it help my organization? The other thing is for you to seek out trusted voices. So people who can give you some context and not just the headlines. In other words, to help you answer the question, what does it mean for us? The third thing I would say here is encourage your teams to explore and be curious and balance that with clear, level-headed decision making. So I'm not asking you or saying to you that they should shy away from it. I think it's very important for them to be curious. See, real expertise is usually measured, thoughtful, and tested. But it's not about being loud and who's screaming the loudest or showing up and saying, oh, AI is fantastic. So where should leaders focus? I think rather than chasing the noise, leaders should focus on areas where AI can genuinely help you and your organization. Now, these could be some things that it could actually help. And I know it can actually help you increase productivity by automating some repetitive work or items. You can enhance decision-making, better data, and insights. Now, AI is powerful only when you have quality data. Without quality data, it ain't going to work too well. Enabling creativity and then freeing up time for strategic thinking. Too many leaders say to me, "Oh, I'm busy, Dennis, and I can't strategically think. And I'm doing this and I'm doing that." What I find is a lot of leaders are stuck in the weeds, or they're very much in the transactional side of things. They need to lift their thinking. They need to become more creative. And AI as a tool to get rid of a lot of this admin stuff that's repetitive will enable them to be more of a strategic thinker. Now, when you frame AI as a tool to empower people and enable business, it stops being something to fear and becomes something to embrace. And here's the leadership opportunity. It's not about you being an AI guru. It's about being the leader who helps your people navigate this moment in time with clarity and confidence. Your team doesn't need you to have all the answers about AI, and nor should you have all the answers about AI. A lot of people are still learning about this. But what you should do is you need to have, and what you should actually model or be a role model for it, is to have curiosity, thought leadership, while at the same time, calm leadership in the middle of all that noise that's going on. Do I think that leaders need to be the gurus of AI? It's like I say in other episodes. You don't have to be the digital expert. You don't need to know how to write the code or how to do all sorts of things. But what you should do is you should have an awareness of it. In other words, you should be digital savvy. The same thing with AI. I think you need to have that AI awareness or savviness. In other words, understanding what it can do, but it doesn't mean that you need to be the one doing it. Look, AI is here and it's here to stay. I think it's a fantastic tool and I'm excited about where it will go. Leadership isn't about being the loudest voice in the room about AI. It's actually about guiding your people through the hype, focusing on what's real, and deliberately choosing how to leverage these tools to impact you and your business. Remember this, the noise around this will always be there. Noise is always going to be there around everything that you do. But great leaders don't just listen to the noise. They create clarity and they show the way forward. So my question to you as a leader, what can you do today to help yourself and your organization get clarity around AI? Is this something that we should be using, and where should we be using it? Because how's it going to empower our people, and how will it allow us or enable us to do business within our organizations and with our customers? Hey, listeners, your call to action this week is that if you are needing some help around your business or around your skills, your capability, your willingness to go to another level, in other words, go and get a bigger role, whether it's in your organization or outside of your organization, or if you're someone who's been made redundant and you're needing some help to get clarity around where you're going and getting some help, what I'm going to suggest is that you book a 30-minute strategy call with me. Go to my website. So in other words, how do you do it? It's easy. You go to my website, leadingchangepartners.com, and on there you'll see some gold buttons that say book a call. And you can book a call with me. You click on those buttons and it will bring up my booking link and allow you to find the right day and time that you and I are available. You click it, you put in your details, and it will send a meeting invite to you and I, and we can get on a call. My only ask is that if you're going to get on a call with me and it's going to be talking about where you're wanting to go and so forth, I want you to prepare a little bit before the meeting. I want you to start thinking about what does the future look like for you? Where are you wanting to go? And come to that meeting prepared. Hey, listeners, that's it for this episode. It's always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for joining me on the Leadership is Changing podcast. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Leadership is Changing with your host, Denis Gianoutsos. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change, inspiring executives and leaders to adapt and lead a bigger game in a fast-moving world.